们祖先就有个子孙观，就是春观。
我自己印的日历。
恭喜发财！
以前没有都江堰，没有水利工程的四川是一个就是吃不饱的地方。
没有都江堰，就不可能有现在的成都。
对，就没有今天的成都的天府之国。
Shiqian is the first destination on my mission to understand the solar terms. Located in the mountainous and undulating landscape of southwest China's Guizhou province, Shiqian has numerous waterways that wind their way through its rugged mountain landscape. 12 ethnic minorities number among the 460,000 people who call this place home. The area's unique traditional culture and its road system don't make it the easiest place for a tourist, but they certainly contribute to an authentic, incomparable ambience. In my experience, any attempt to quickly grasp on a city's history, culture and customs should start with a visit to a local museum. I arrive in Shiqian Museum hoping to find traces of the 24 solar terms. There are countless examples of traditional crafts, art and folk culture on display at the Shiqian Museum. But as younger generations increasingly seek their fortunes farther afield, many of these traditions may be fated to exist only in a museum. One particular folk culture tradition, however, is luckily still being practiced today. 说春。
四川县2017年世界非遗说春仪式现在开始。
立春, or the beginning of spring, as it is known, is the first of the 24 solar terms. It marks the starting point on the wheel of the 4 seasons, when the world is all revived. In Shiqian, every year on Li Chun, the ancient custom of spring announcer begins. The people who play a central role in the gathering and its associated ceremonies are known as the spring announcers. They are the ambassadors of spring. In the past, farmers counted on spring announcers to announce the arrival of spring and the beginning of spring plowing. Feng Wanming is admired in his county. He continues to carry the torch of his ancestors as the 4th generation spring announcer.
我们说春的来历，关系到这个老百姓24个节气，每一个月催老百姓做活路，哪个月该做南活路，哪个月该做个南活路。今天立春，我们这个说春的来源就是从唐朝时候李世民他这个皇帝打到这个地方来班师回朝过后，才问我们要个南关，所以我们祖先就有个子孙观。子孙观就是春观。
Feng is at his busiest each year on the 10 days before and after Li Chun. At this time, he walks the streets and goes from house to house to announce the arrival of spring in order to ensure everybody knows that it's time to start plowing. But announcing the beginning of spring isn't that simple. Essential tools and cultural artifacts like spring calendars, seals, and carved spring oxen need to be prepared in advance. Spring calendars are carved onto wooden blocks and contain the 24 solar terms and applicable farming information for each term. Spring cattle are sculpted from wooden blocks.
这个水牛
水牛，
是你弄的，师傅？真好。
要耕田，老百姓吃饭就靠它。
这个就是到时候出去说村，就得带上这个。
就是讲它了吧？
方师傅在这儿又开了一个出版社，是吧？你在不停地在印刷，是吧？
这个春地的意思就是说，一年四节，越大越小，至少24个节气，哪个月下种，哪个月怎样，哪个月好炒，每一个月都有它的意义了吧？
就是这样就，对，翻过去就摆到那边了。
Oh, it's the most beautiful calendar ever. 怎么样？
可以，可以。
好。
The spring teller was an occupation authorized by the emperor in ancient China. A hat and gown signifying their rank was their uniform, representing their status and level of knowledge.
我做一个第一个老外的春晚。
很棒。
Everything is ready, but before setting out, Feng pays his respects to heaven, earth, and his ancestors. He seeks the blessing of his work and looks to empower his chanting to benefit the farmers. The Chinese use joyful colors in farming ceremonies, showing their respect and appreciation of nature. Oxen have helped Chinese farmers for nearly 3,000 years. With this in mind, the Chinese also have a custom in which they show respect to cattle. One of the activities associated with spring chanting is for the spring announcer to stir the paper-made cattle using colored wooden sticks. This is meant to rouse the cattle from their subdued winter state and encourage the farmers to prepare for spring plowing. After the ceremony, the real cattle are also warmed up. The strongest cattle in the county begin to set out on their first foray into the fields under the command of the most experienced farmer, signaling the start of a new year of working on the land. Spring ploughing is a top priority for farmers. My task now is to follow Feng from door to door to announce the beginning of spring. Every year at the beginning of spring, Feng Wanming traverses the mountainside and visits all the villages around Shiqian. He will typically greet more than 30 families every day. A more appropriate name for this practice should be spring singing, as the words are actually sung out loud rather than chanted.
春在山崖中，铁对的着，对的着，神看高崖上，高崖上。 挂金锅钱，
挂金锅钱，
三相公。
我自己印的日历，恭喜发财，
恭喜发财。
Sowing at the right time is essential for reaping a good harvest. The essence of a spring teller's lyrics are the 24 solar terms. These include the terms for weeding, the term for sowing, and the terms for harvesting. Feng knows his intricate solar term lyrics by heart.
财发人血，人发千口，国发万代，辈子千生，长发吉祥。哦。
But the lyrics are not written in stone, and he occasionally ad-libs his lyrics and wings it, with improvised blessings tailored to different situations and conditions for every different family. Feng spreads cheer to all that welcome him. Nobody wants to miss out on a blessing to kick off the year.
喝一杯一定发财哈！
对呀，俺的罗地下小衙门，是啊，玉的把小妹的亲啊来，没叫的慌啊，慌啊。
There is a strict time frame for chanting spring. 10 days after Li Cun, the practice is over for that year. Feng then goes home and rests for a while, rewarded with tribute money.
这是我家，
这完全是新的啊！
旁边是后门，
好大好大，
就是啊，
几层？3层。那你们全家都住这儿吗？几个人呢
？6口人。
也不少。
嗯。
哇！
哎，走。
新家的样子，真好。这你什么时候搬进来的？
在5年前。
有5年前。小朋友是谁呢？这帅哥。
大的孙子，孙媳妇。
刚结婚。
刚结婚。
你一年能挣多少钱？
我。
对。
我现在挣不到钱了。
他每年收春也赚很多钱。
啊，你看，
是
他都说的呢。
交春前10天，后10天，20天，一天100块钱，2000块钱。
谁给你钱呢？
主人家。
主家嘛，我们到每家每户去收春，他要
到你家讲，
他就给你钱。最多的一家还大概能给你多少钱？
有的都给了100多。
Chanting spring provides a good source of income for the spring announcers. These payoffs encourage spring announcers to pass on this tradition. Since most young people from the countryside are moving to bigger cities to seek their fortunes these days, a lot of these old traditions are not being carried on. To help pass this tradition on, the local government here has set up a spring chanting class at Shitian Primary School. Feng tells me that every year 2 graduates will join the spring telling team to pass on the tradition and knowledge of chanting spring and the 24 solar terms. Spring rain rejuvenates the land, revealing the life within the earth. As they creep across the landscape, they bring life back to dead wood and help the seeds begin to sprout. China is an ancient civilization that was built on agriculture. Water has always been a crucial resource for the Chinese people. This is why the rainwater solar term holds such an important place in Chinese culture. Located in southwest China, Sichuan province is a vast drainage basin rich in agriculture, forests and biodiversity. Its 4 distinct seasons and its luxuriant forests have earned it the name the Land of Abundance. This solar term sees growth return to the woodlands and the hillsides. After waiting quietly through winter, bamboo feasts on the rainwater, awakens and breaks up through the earth. This incredible plant has its origins in China, and of course, it's well known to be the staple food of the giant panda. Giant pandas like wet weather. Because they are a species that likes to remain hidden in the wild, they choose to live in places with slopes and gullies, where they can easily conceal themselves. Bamboo, likewise, also likes wet weather and grows best on slopes. Preferences of the bamboo and the giant panda have brought the two together on the slopes of Sichuan province, the place that pandas called home. Pang Yingchuang and Liu Jia are from Dujiangyan, Sichuan province. At their invitation, I came to Dujiangyan to experience the rainwater solar term.
有，哎，听见了吗？
对。
什么在那儿？
老远的。
哎呦！
我今天看见竹笋了吗？
In the city of Dujiangyan, Sichuan province, there is a lush and beautiful bamboo forest called the Sea of Bamboo. Spring bamboo shoots up after the rain. This is the literal meaning of a well-known Chinese idiom. More figuratively, this idiom is used to describe new and rapid growth that sprouts up across a wide area.
雨后春笋长得好，下了雨一天就能长这么大。
这需要多长时间？
长成这个从笋长到这个的话，45天就可以长成。
45天就这么高？
就可以长这么高，对。 它3年以后就可以长一片，
它就是从根就开始，
哎，盘根错节，
盘根错景，
对，盘根错节，
所以它长得快，
哎，跟蜘蛛织网一样，越来越多，越来越多。
Pang Yingchun manages the Sea of Bamboo. His busiest time of the year is always the rainwater solar term. There is an abundance of bamboo during this time, so he collects it for the giant pandas. Often, he will work for days at a time without returning to his home.
都江堰这个地方，它有熊猫基地，就用人工栽培这些笋来这个喂熊猫。但是笋品质最好的、口感最好就是春天这个季节，雨后春笋嘛，它水分含量好一点，它这个好吃一点。
Bamboo shoots are a traditional Chinese food. There is a long history of their consumption in China. The Book of Songs, a 2,500-year-old Chinese book, records how Chinese people even then consumed bamboo shoots. The rainwater solar term is the best time of year to enjoy fresh bamboo shoots. And when it comes to eating bamboo, the people of Sichuan can give the pandas a run for their money.
这是甜的。
Yeah.
这个是春天春笋嘛，春笋是最好的。这个是香酥笋条，这是笋，油炸了以后炒的。这个是炒笋尖，用四川的泡菜，然后用竹笋。哦，你能吃辣吗
No。
哎，不是很辣。
是吧？
这是竹花炒蛋。那竹林里边养的土鸡。 生的蛋，然后这个竹花是竹林里面一种寄生菌，竹花炒蛋。
这个，
哎，这个竹花。这手剥笋。手剥笋，直接就可以吃的。
这用手吃的。
这是笋浆卤制的。
全都是。
卤制，直接就可以吃的。
For the people of Dujiangyan, bamboo is not simply a food. There is a local saying. Bamboo in front of the gate, prosperity for thousands of years. Bamboo grows in sections, one after another. This implies that we advance in steps in life and is an auspicious symbol. Old Pang told me, For locals here, bamboo is indispensable in every respect, particularly during the annual rainwater solar term. Bamboo has another special use.
我们这边雨水节的话，它有一个习俗，就是出嫁的女儿，然后要带着老公回娘家。
你做过这个事吗？
做了，还买竹椅子，农村里边还要买2把竹子的椅子，然后又得将挑被砍着，然后送到这个丈母娘家去。
In most parts of China, the rainwater solar term is just one of the traditional farming seasons. It's nothing out of the ordinary. But in Dujiangyan, the day the rainwater solar term begins is also known as the return to mother's house. On this day, a married woman, together with her husband's children, will take a pair of bamboo chairs to her parents. The word for chair, yi, can also symbolize reliance. So these chairs therefore act as a symbol that the older generation can rely on the younger generation.
竹子跟我们四川人是息息相关，每一家人，特别是在农村，你到了以后，一定能够看到一样，甚至很多样都与竹子有关的农具啊，与生活息息相关。
跟我的工作那个也是息息相关的。因为我在景区里面，他的工作就是当导游呀。然后我们都江堰的话，它是水利工程。
听说过。
对，水利工程它修建当初的话，因为没有水泥呀，所以当时的话就会用竹子编织一些工具，然后用来筑堰呀，然后作为河堤呀这些。所以每天这些都是我们要讲的。
都江堰是唯一一个2000多年前最古老的水利工程还在发挥作用的。灌溉了整个成都平原1000万亩土地。水旱重生，以前没有都江堰，没有水利工程的四川，是一个就是吃不饱的地方。
Dujiangyan is the oldest irrigation system in the world that remains in continuous use to this day, and it is remarkable for not using a dam in its construction. It has irrigated up to 700,000 hectares of land and was listed as a World Heritage Site in 2000. It is truly an engineering masterpiece and an historical treasure for all of mankind to enjoy.
原来的这种设计的这种都江堰，到现在还用吗？
还用啊，
还是用。
对，我们今天成都平原用的水都是从这个地方还是流下去的。
没有都江堰，
对，
就不可能有现在的成都。
对，就没有今天的成都的天府之国。
它有没有一个特殊的日子，就是哪天它把水开了？
就是在我们这个雨水节过后，然后就会有一个活动嘛，就是我们的这个放水节。
For the Dujiangyan hydraulic engineering project, the rainwater solar term is particularly important. The rainwater solar term is preceded by the dry season in the area. The people who maintain this irrigation system in ancient times would build temporary cofferdams using bamboo cages during this time. They would use these to close off the inner and outer channels successfully, allowing for a close inspection of each channel. This is still in practice today. When the rains come, the water volume in the Min River also increases. The cofferdams in the inner and outer channels are removed, and water from the inner channel is diverted into irrigation areas, providing abundant water to surrounding farmlands for spring irrigation. Next to Dujiangyan is Erwang Temple. Offerings are made inside to Li Bing and his son, who presided over the construction of Dujiangyan. In ancient China, Li Bing was a well-known hydraulic engineer. He was the official for the state of Qin, responsible for managing this area. Because Dujiangyan was designed and built to benefit the whole Chengdu Plain, in the eyes of later generations, Li Bing became an object of veneration and worship. History has seen many great and awe-inspiring projects of architecture and engineering. The Great Wall of China, the Egyptian pyramids, Greek temples. These were expressions of magnificent ancient civilizations, but today have lost their purpose. Dujiangyan is quite different. It continues a lineage of 2,270 years and is the source of wealth for the land of abundance.